we are dealing with the kinds of transpiration. What are the different kinds of transpiration? As you know, usually this transpiration occurs through the stomata. So that type of transpiration, it is called as stomatal transpiration. And again, the second type is called as cuticular transpiration, and the third type of transpiration is called as lenticular transpiration. So, three types of transpiration. One is stomatal transpiration. So, as you know, stomatal transpiration occurs through the stomata of the leaves, which is present in the lower surface of the leaf. And then can you tell me what is meant by cuticular transpiration? That is through the cuticle of the leaf. And third one is lenticular transpiration, that is through the lenticels of the stem. Okay, now we can study detail about stomatal transpiration. So, the mechanism involved in stomatal transpiration. So, tell me what is the shape of the stomata? Yes, it is bean shaped. Okay, so these are the two guard cells. And here you can see that adjoining epidermal cells are there. Okay, these are the epidermal cells surrounding the stomata. So simply we can say this is the structure of the stomata. These are the kidney shaped cells, which are called as what? Guard cells. These two are called as guard cells. So how many guard cells are there? Two guard cells are there. In the guard cells again what is present? Yes, a single nucleus. In each case there is a single nucleus. Then again what else is present? Chloroplast is also present. So this is, and it contains that cytoplasmic material. This is the simple structure of the stomata. So two stomata. You can see a single stomata. In each side it is protected by the guard cells, which is of bean shape, and it contains chloroplast as well as this nucleus. And this opening, this is called as stoma. The opening is called as stoma. Then how it takes place? You can see that in stomatal transpiration, the water escapes through the stomata of the leaf. So, water escapes through where? Through the stomata of the leaf, and then it how from the roots, using root hair, plant will be absorbing this water. Okay. Then you can see this through the xylem vessels. It will reaches to the stem, then it reaches the leaves. Now we can see the structure of the leaves, how it is. So this is a simple leaf, you can say this is a leaf. If we are taking a cross section or vertical section, that is means not cutting like this, we are just cutting the leaf like this. Okay, the leaf we are cutting like this, and this small part, again using a blade, you are cutting the small part. So these small parts, when we are putting under a microscope, what are the structures we can see? So on the top you can see that a thick layer like this, and here is the epidermal cell. So this is the cuticle outer layer. A thick layer is present which is called as cuticle. And this first layer is called as epidermis. Okay. So below this you can see that this mesophyll tissues are arranged. What type of tissue? Mesophyll. And in the mesophyll, two types are there. One is called as palisade mesophyll and the other one is called as spongy mesophyll. So on the first layer you can see what? Palisade mesophyll, somewhat elongated cell like this, somewhat closely arranged also. So these cells are closely arranged. Next layer, you can see these are the palisade mesophyll tissue. So these tissues are called as what? Palisade. This also contain a nucleus and chlorophyll is present. Okay, each cell containing nucleus and then what? This chlorophyll also is present in these cells. Okay, so the first layer it is called as this palisade mesophyll. Next you can see below that there are, from the name itself you know it is spongy tissue. So you can see it is very loosely arranged, long cell, so that mostly the cells have intercellular spaces between them. Between the cell you can see that there will be some spaces. So the second tissue which is called as spongy cells, and here what is specialty? It is loosely arranged. So spongy mesophyll, it is loosely arranged so that they have certain space between the cell. Okay, then next you can see that after this layer comes the lower epidermis, and this is the lower epidermis. So you can see the upper epidermis and the lower epidermis. So both sides I told you. See, this is the part of the leaf here. This is the upper epidermis on the top, and here it is the lower epidermis. And here you can see in the lower epidermis, what is the speciality? This stomata is present, whereas that is absent on the upper epidermal region. So here you can see the small stomatal opening here and there. So it is protected by guard cell. This opening is called as stomata. Then this, now you can see that plant absorb water through the roots I told you, and it reaches where? Yes, through the stem you can see it reaches the leaves. And leaves, what it is needed, it is using, and excess water it will be giving out, and that process is called as what? Transpiration. So cell to cell, from this cell you can see it reaches by osmosis, cell to cell, by imbibition it takes up, it reaches the cell. Here on the surface it releases the water on the surface of this what cell? Yes, spongy mesophyll. And here you can see that then due to the evaporation here it will form in the form of fine droplets. Okay, and this one finally it will diffuse out through this opening. This water it will diffuse out. Diffusion definition: the movement of this particle from a higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So here you can see this water vapor in large concentration. Okay, in this space. So going out. That is the process called as diffusion. So, you can see that the cells that lose water in this way, they will replace it by drawing more and more water from the nearest vein. So, as this water lost by the plant, again water will be absorbed from the roots. As the transpiration takes place, you can see that again and again water will be absorbed by the root hairs, then reaches the roots, then to the stems then it reaches the leaves. The transpiration pull thus exerted. So there is a pull will be exerted from the roots, and this transpiration pull, it makes that nearly 50 meters height in a plant. You can see water will go up due to this transpiration pull. Okay, more transpiration occurs from the under surface of the leaf. So here you can see this is the upper surface, this is the lower surface, upper surface, lower surface. Leaf will be like this. So more transpiration always takes from, if the leaf's position is like this, through from the lower surface of the leaf. With an experiment, we can prove that more transpiration takes place through the lower surface of the leaf. For that, you have to take a potted plant, or if you are conducting the experiment outside, you can keep this thing, but you should not cut the leaf. Leaf should be intact with the plant. It should remain in the plant. So we have to do this in the plant only. For this, you have to need two thin glass sheets, then 2 cobalt chloride paper and certain clips. These are the things needed. Okay, clips, otherwise rubber band you can use. What you have to do is, this is the, suppose this is the leaf, okay, and here you have to keep a cobalt chloride paper on this surface. You have to keep a cobalt chloride paper. At the same time, on the lower surface also, you have to keep a cobalt chloride paper. Upon that, you have to keep, see the cobalt chloride paper is here, and upon that you are keeping a glass sheet, a thin glass sheet you are keeping. The downside also you are keeping a glass sheet, and using a rubber band you are tying that one. Okay, so both side glass sheet is there, then again glass slide is there, plus lower surface also a cobalt chloride paper, upper surface also there is a cobalt chloride paper. So now you keep it for 3 to 4 hours. After 3 to 4 hours, what change you can see? Yes, normally I already told you most stomata is present in the lower surface of the leaf. So automatically you can see the paper, blue cobalt chloride paper, which is kept on the lower surface, that will turn into which color? Yesterday you have seen, in presence of water, the blue color will change into what color? Yes, to pink color. Whereas on the upper surface, what you have kept, that will be remain like that. Because you can, from this you can say that plants have more stomata on the lower surface, and the water transpiration takes place through lower surface of the leaves. That's why when this water diffuses and comes out, that changes this cobalt chloride paper from blue to pink. Okay, then how this stomatal regulation takes place. You can see this transpiration occurs as long as stomata is open. So from this diagram, can you say whether stomata is open or not? Yes, here it is open. Now I will show you a structure how stomata, closed stomata. This is an open stomata. So transpiration, as long as the stomata is open, transpiration takes place. But when once this stomata is closed, transpiration also will stop. At what time this stomata will be closing? Yes, during night time automatically stomata will be closing. During daytime stomata will be opening. So through this open stomata only, what will enter? Carbon dioxide will enter into the leaves. What for the plants need this carbon dioxide? Yes, it is for photosynthesis. So through the open stomata during daytime, you can see that this carbon dioxide will enter through this opening and the plant using it for the preparation of food. Okay. Then again, as far as the stomata is open, that means usually during daytime the stomata will be open and transpiration takes place, and during night time you can see that automatically the stomata will be closed and the transpiration stops. When water content during hot season for the potted plant on wall, you might have seen by noon time, if it is not getting proper water, the leaves will wilt. How it happens? The water, it reaches the leaves will be lesser and the amount of transpiration will be more. The amount of transpiration will be more, whereas the leaves reaches less amount of water. So automatically there will be a tendency that the cell loses its rigidity. Yesterday you have seen the rigid cell, how it will be. It will be like this, and the cell content, you can see that the cell membrane as well as cell wall, they will be in turgid condition, whereas as it loses the cell membrane, this will be removing, you can see it will be going apart from this cell wall and cell will be shrinking. So turgidity, the plant cell loses turgidity. So this transpiration stops when the water reaches to the leaves become less. And leaves of some plants wilt during midday and recovers in the evening. Evening, how it happens, you can see that the loss of water will become very less, and thus you can see that it recovers its turgidity. Then let's see what is meant by cuticular transpiration. The second type of transpiration, that is called as cuticular transpiration. From the name itself you can understand this mode of transpiration that takes place through the cuticle. So this is the cuticle. You can see that in certain types of leaves, different types of cuticle, very thick cuticle is present. Which side it is present? Yes, in the upper epidermis. See here the leaf, when you are looking, here you can see that on the upper surface it is somewhat shiny structure, whereas in the lower surface it is not there. See the upper surface, you can examine by yourself. Upper surface, why it is having that shiny structure? Because of the waxy substance present on the upper epidermis of the leaf, and that structure is nothing but cuticle. So actually the main function of this cuticle is to prevent the water loss, but certainly a little amount of water is lost by this cuticle. So that transpiration is called as cuticular transpiration. When comparing to the stomatal transpiration, the amount of water lost by cuticular transpiration is very less. So third type is called as lenticular transpiration. So cuticular, stomatal transpiration over. Then second one, cuticular transpiration, that is a very simple way, water diffuses out through the cuticle. And third type is called as lenticular transpiration. Are you familiar with the word lenticels? Where it is present? Yes, it is Lenticels are minute opening present on the stems or bark of the plant. Okay, so through this opening you can see even for respiration also lenticels, through lenticels plants even respire also. So transpiration also, the excess water will be given out through the lenticels of the plant, which is usually present on the bark of the stem. Okay, so you can see the lenticels not like stomata. Stomata will open during daytime and it closes during night time, whereas lenticels all the time, even during day and even night also, these lenticels will be open, and through these lenticels this transpiration takes place, and this process is called as what? Lenticular transpiration. Now we can see what are the factors that is affecting this transpiration. So two types of factors is there. One is called as external factors and another one is called as internal factors. First let us see the external factors that affect the transpiration. First one is intensity of light, next one is temperature, then the third one is velocity of wind, fourth one is humidity, fifth one is carbon dioxide, sixth one is atmospheric pressure. So these are the 6 external factors that affect the transpiration. First let us see the intensity of sunlight. So you can see that during daytime stomata will be open and the rate of transpiration will be more. Like that, as this more sunlight is present, that is during daytime the rate of transpiration will be more. You can see during daytime the diffusion of carbon dioxide also takes place for photosynthesis, and again the plant will be absorbing this water through root hairs to the root, then to the stem, and finally reaches leaves, and the process of photosynthesis as well as the process of respiration, transpiration, these three processes also takes place during daytime. So you can see that as more sunlight is present, the rate of transpiration also will be increasing. Second one is temperature. So what happens if the temperature outside increases? Automatically you can see that certain plants it will wilt during noon time and all, you can see that it will be wilting. So you can see as that, because that rate of absorption of water is less when compared to the rate of transpiration during noon time. So the leaves wilt. So you can say that increase in temperature allows more water to be absorbed, and therefore what will happen? This transpiration also will increase. So how this temperature affect this transpiration? As the temperature increases outside, the rate of transpiration also will increase. Third one is velocity of the wind. What is meant by velocity? As it is the speed of the wind. Some days you can see that heavy wind will be blowing. So there also you can see as the speed of this wind increases or the velocity of the wind increases, what happens? Transpiration also will be increases. Very faster you can see that water will be removed from the leaves. So how does velocity affect transpiration? As velocity of the wind increases, the rate of transpiration also increases. Next is humidity. What is meant by humidity? amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere is called as humidity. Now, how does it affect this plant in the case of transpiration? Then we can see that transpiration is reduced if the air outside is humid. So, if more humidity is there, what will happen? Stomata, it will show a tendency to close. So, automatically when stomata is closing, fully closing or partially closing, what will happen? This rate of transpiration will be decreasing. So, in the first three cases, you have seen that along with all this, the rate of transpiration also increases. Whereas in the fourth case, if the humidity is increasing, what happens? The rate of transpiration decreases, because as the atmosphere is humid, the stomata will show a tendency to close. Next external factor is carbon dioxide. As all of you know that the amount of carbon dioxide present in the air is 0.03%. Suppose this amount is increasing, that is, the amount of carbon dioxide is increasing in the atmosphere, it will lead to the closure of this stomata. Automatically stomata will be closing, and just like in the previous case, as the stomata closes, how it affects the transpiration? Yes, it is quite normal that transpiration also will be reducing. Next is atmospheric pressure. So, in the atmosphere, if pressure is increases, automatically transpiration will decrease. So, if the pressure in the atmosphere increases, you can say that transpiration rate will be decreasing. So, these are the 6 factors, especially external factors affecting this transpiration. Now, come on, tell me, Ayush, can you tell me what are the factors, that is external factors, that is affecting this transpiration? Now, let us see the internal factor, only one internal factor, that is water content of the leaves. So, if the water content of the leaves decreases due to the insufficient absorption of water by the roots, the leaves will wilt and transpiration is reduced. So, if this water content in the leaf is less, what will happen? Automatically transpiration will be reduced. The such reduction in transpiration is indirectly due to the closure of the stomata. That is the internal factor, that is water content of the leaves. See what are the adaptation in plants to reduce excessive transpiration. So, plants, you can see that in certain cases, if this transpiration is more, you can see plant may not get enough water for the other activities like photosynthesis. So, you can see nature itself has given certain adaptation to the plant, so that the rate of transpiration will be reduced. So, adaptations in plants. First one, plants have sunken stomata. Usually you have seen the structure of the stomata. It is present on the lower surface of the leaf. It is you can see outside of this one two kidney shaped or bean shaped cells are there, which are called as guard cells. In the case of sunken stomata, it is covered by hairs. So in the lower surface of the leaves, just I am drawing only lower surface. Already I have shown you the structure of the leaf, the cross section of the leaf. So here in the lower surface, it is by the first layer, it is covered by lower epidermis, and here the stomata which is present. Usual cases stomata will be like this. This is the opening of stomata. Whereas in the case of sunken stomata, you can see that stomata somewhere very small stomata will be present here, and on the outer side small hair-like structures will be present, and this structure prevent the loss of excessive water from the plant. So first one is sunken stomata. Second one is fewer stomata. So only few stomata are present on the lower surface of certain plants. So that as the number of stomata is more and more, what will happen? Yes, more transpiration takes place. So in certain plants, the number of stomata will be very less, and thus we can reduce the rate of transpiration. Third case is narrow leaves. So see, comparing to this leaf and this leaf, you can see that this leaf is very narrow. Here itself, this is a grass leaf which is very narrow. This is somewhat broad in nature. Okay. So here, as this size of this narrow leaf comes, so here in the lower surface, the number of stomata will be less. So nature itself, it provided this chance that in certain plants, the narrow leaves, and as the leaves become narrow, you can see that the transpiration also will be reduced. Then reduced exposure surface. Fourth one is reduce the exposure surface. So that what will happen? The leaves sometimes they will be, you can see that they will be get away rolled or folded. Certain leaves you can see this is a straight leaf only. Certain case you can see it will be rolled like this, so that exposure to sunlight will be less. Thus it can reduce the rate of transpiration. Then loss of leaves. In certain plants, leaves will be reduced in the form of spines, certain thorn-like structure in the form of cactus, opuntia. These desert plants where water is very less, you can see that leaves are reduced into thorn-like structure. Opuntia, you can see that stems will be like this. Upon that, these thorns or spines, this is called as spines. Everywhere you can see, and these spines, these are actually, we will confuse with them. This is a card structure, it is broad, and this will be leaf, we will think like that. Actually this is the stem, thick fleshy stem which store water especially this is a desert plant. Whereas leaves will be reduced in the form of spine. If leaves are broad, more transpiration takes place. So these leaves are reduced into spines, and thus it can reduce the respiration. And next one is thick cuticle. I already told you that here on the upper epidermis a thick layer of cuticle is present, that also prevent the loss of transpiration. So that is the fifth one. Thick cuticle. So these are the adaptation. These 5 factors. These are the adaptation you can see in plants. You can see that leaves will get cooled. You can see in your body itself the change. I can say that during fever, you can see your body temperature will be increasing. Once you are sweating, you can see that you will feel very cool. How? Because this heat is evaporated from the body. Same way, when once transpiration occurs, plants' leaves will be cooled and you can see that cooling effect will be observed. Second thing is suction force. You can see from the root hairs which is in contact with the soil, the water will be present, and using this xylem vessels, root will be absorbing this water and going up to the even to the tallest part it is reaching, especially the aerial part that leaves. So as more transpiration takes place, again to draw water from the soil, a force will be created and that is called as suction force. So as more transpiration takes place, plant will be producing more force, that is suction force, and thus this water reaches the even at the topmost part of the plant. And third one is distribution of water and mineral salts. You can say that when this water is absorbed by the root hairs, then to root, stem, then all the branches, leaves, etc. Along with this water, mineral salts will be present, and this mineral salts also will be reaching to all parts of the plant. Thus, these three important significance are there for transpiration. First one is cooling effect, second one is suction force, and third one is distribution of the water and mineral salts. Now, how the transpiration affects climate? Yes, you can see that transpiration means a loss of water into the atmosphere. Okay, you can see that a fully grown sunflower plant, it gives out half liter of water every day. By transpiration, half a liter of water drops or water in the form of vapor will be given out to the atmosphere. Whereas you can see that in a maize plant, it gives nearly 2 liters of water per day. Whereas now you can see a large apple tree, it gives out 30 liters of water in the form of vapor to the atmosphere. So now just you can see that in a forest, big trees are there, tall trees are there, or widely spread trees are there. In from all these trees leaves, transpiration takes place, and the amount of water which it is given out in the form of water will be more and more. So as the transpiration increases, the moisture in the atmosphere, and thus it brings rain. You might have heard that deforestation or cutting down of trees, what it leads to drought and rain may not come. So how it happens? You can see that as the deforestation process goes on, there is no leaves, no trees, no transpiration. So automatically you can see there is less rain. And here, as the number of trees are more, you can see the rate of transpiration will be more and more, and thus we can say that forests bring rain. You understood the term how the forests contribute bringing of rain. Two more terms are there, with that this chapter ends. One is called as guttation and the other one is called as bleeding. Already in the previous lesson you came across with these two terms. One is what is meant by guttation and bleeding. That is, excess of water is lost from the plant leaves in the form of drops. See the difference between transpiration and guttation. Transpiration in the form of vapor. The loss of water in the form of vapor is called as what? Transpiration, whereas guttation in the form of water drops, that is called this guttation. And there are certain pores in this or certain openings in the leaves for this water to go outside, and that opening is called as hydanthos. So previous lesson you have seen that early morning and all, at the end of the leaves you can see certain droplets of water is remaining, and these droplets of water, that is due to guttation only. And next one is bleeding. What is meant by bleeding? And if any injury happens to the plant, or just if you cut the stem of a plant, you can see that water and cells are lost. Okay, that is what is called as bleeding. Now understood the difference between transpiration, guttation and bleeding. Thank you.